There is a particular kind of restlessness that does not feel like ordinary anxiety. It is not the restlessness of stress or overwhelm, though those feelings may be present alongside it. It is something quieter and deeper, a sense that something important is on the edge of happening, that the air around your life has shifted in ways you cannot fully articulate, that you are standing at the threshold of something without being able to see what lies on the other side. If you recognize that feeling, you are in the right place. Because Archangel Michael was sent today with a specific message for the soul who has been carrying exactly the kind of restlessness, not to dismiss it as imagination, not to explain it away as a phase, but to confirm what your spirit has already been sensing. That restlessness is not random. It is not a symptom of something wrong. It is preparation. Heaven has been moving in your life in ways your physical eyes have not yet been able to see. And this message carries the revelation of what has been prepared, what is being released into your reality right now, and why this specific season of your life is unlike anything you have walked through before. I remember a time in my own life when I carried that exact feeling for months. A quiet but insistent sense that something was shifting beneath the surface of everything. That the life I had been living was about to become something different, though I could not see the shape of what was coming. I kept second-guessing the feeling, telling myself I was being overly hopeful or reading into nothing. And then, looking back from the other side of the shift, I understood. The restlessness had been accurate the entire time. It was my spirit registering what heaven was already doing. That is what Archangel Michael wants you to understand today. Your spirit registers things before your mind can process them. The intuition you have been carrying, the sense that something important is close, the feeling that this season is significant in ways you cannot yet explain. These are not flights of fancy. They are spiritual awareness functioning exactly as it was designed to function. Welcome to the Breath of Angels, a space created for souls who understand that the invisible world is just as real as the visible one, who know that heaven's timing is precise even when it feels painfully slow, and who are ready to receive what God has been preparing in the quiet. Whether this is your first time here or you've been walking with us for a while, I am genuinely glad you are here. This message was prepared for you, for this season, for this exact moment on your path. Stay with me from beginning to end, because what is shared here is not a collection of general encouragements that could apply to anyone. It is a specific revelation about what Archangel Michael sees in your current season, what heaven has been doing in the silences and the delays, and what you can expect as the invisible shifts into the visible. Let us begin with something that Archangel Michael wants you to understand at the deepest level. You were never invisible to heaven, not in any of the seasons when you felt most unseen, not in the moments when you showed up fully for others and felt no one noticing what it cost you, not in the nights when you carried questions that no one in your physical world seemed able to answer, not in the long stretches of silence when you prayed and felt only quiet in return. Every moment of that journey was witnessed. Every act of faithfulness that went unacknowledged by people around you was fully acknowledged in the realm, where the records that actually matter are kept. Every time you chose integrity when no one was watching, every time you gave generously from a place of genuine love rather than obligation, every time you kept showing up, even when showing up felt like too much, all of it was seen. This matters because one of the primary lies that delay and difficulty whisper into a person's spirit is that their faithfulness is not registering anywhere, that the effort is disappearing into a void, that there is no correlation between the seeds they are planting and any harvest that might come. And when that lie is believed long enough, it begins to produce a particular kind of exhaustion. Not the exhaustion of doing too much, but the exhaustion of believing that what you are doing does not matter. Archangel Michael comes today to dismantle that lie directly. Your faithfulness has been registering. Every seed has been counted. And the harvest that belongs to seeds planted in genuine love and sincere faith does not expire. There is something the angels asked me to share with you in this moment. A deeper revelation about what is specifically being released over your life in this season. You will find it in the pinned link in the comments below. Do not pass it by. Every soul guided to this message today was also guided there. Write now in the comments this declaration of faith. I am guided, covered, and strengthened by the angels of God. Let these words settle deeper than the surface of the mind. All the way down to the places in you that most need to hear this truth right now. I want to speak now about the silences. Because Archangel Michael sees them with a clarity that the human perspective simply cannot access from inside them. And what he sees looks very different from what they feel like on the ground. The silences in your life, the seasons when nothing seemed to be moving, when prayers felt like they were going nowhere, when the breakthrough you had been believing for seemed to remain perpetually just out of reach, those silences were not voids. They were not evidence of divine neglect or personal unworthiness. They were the period of alignment. Think about what happens before a significant piece of music reaches its climax. There is often a moment of near silence, a held breath in the composition, where everything pauses. From inside that pause, if you did not know what was coming, you might wonder if the music had simply stopped. If something had gone wrong, if the rest was not coming. But the pause is not the absence of the music. It is the gathering of everything needed for what comes next. That is the image Archangel Michael brings to the silences in your life. Not that nothing was happening, but that everything needed for what was coming next was being gathered, aligned, and prepared. The people who needed to be positioned were being positioned. The circumstances that needed to shift were being arranged. The version of you that could carry what was coming was being formed through exactly the experiences that felt most like obstacles. I have experienced this personally, and the recognition of it, when it finally comes, is one of the most profound and humbling things I have ever felt. Looking back at the silence and suddenly being able to see all the movement that was happening inside it, all the preparation that looked, from the outside, like absolutely nothing. If this message is reaching you in a real and tangible way, I invite you to click the like button below. That gesture of support keeps this mission alive and allows these words to reach other souls who are sitting inside their own seasons of silence right now. I want to speak now about something very practical that Archangel Michael highlights for this specific season. Because one of the things that most delays people from stepping into what heaven has prepared is the habit of looking for the breakthrough in the places they expect it to appear, and missing it entirely when it arrives through a different door. The significant shifts in a life rarely arrive looking the way we imagined they would. They come disguised as conversations that seem casual, as invitations that appear minor, as redirections that initially feel like setbacks, as quiets that seem like endings but are actually clearings, as people who enter the picture without fanfare but whose presence turns out to be pivotal. Archangel Michael wants you to develop a particular kind of attention in this season. Not the anxious, scanning attention of someone who is worried about missing something, but the quiet, alert attention of someone who knows they are loved and led, and who trusts that what is meant for them will be clearly recognizable when it arrives. This attention is cultivated in stillness. In the moments you step away from the noise and allow your spirit to orient toward what is real rather than what is urgent. In the practice of sitting with your own interior world long enough to hear what is actually being communicated there. Beneath the layers of habit, and busyness and distraction. Certa vez I recognize the most significant shift of a particular season in my life, not through a dramatic event, but through a single conversation that lasted only a few minutes. Everything about it seemed ordinary from the outside, but something in my spirit registered it with an intensity that I had learned, by then, to trust. That conversation changed the trajectory of the following years. The breakthrough did not look like what I had been watching for, but it was unmistakably real. Archangel, Michael wants you to carry that kind of openness into the days ahead. Not looking for a specific shape of miracle, but remaining genuinely open to the ways heaven tends to move, which is always with more creativity and precision than we can anticipate. Right now in the comments, I am chosen, I am advancing, and I am ready to receive what heaven has prepared for me. There is something about faithfulness that Archangel Michael speaks about with particular emphasis, and I want to make sure it lands fully, because it addresses something that many people carry silently, a question about whether the way they have loved others, often generously and some to their own cost, has been we. The answer heaven gives to that question is not the one the world tends to give. The world often says that generous love which is not immediately reciprocated is foolish. That giving without guarantee of return is naive. That keeping your heart open after it has been hurt is a form of self-sabotage. Archangel Michael says something entirely different. He says that the way you have loved, with sincerity and without requiring perfect conditions, has been a form of strength that the world does not have the vocabulary to properly honor. And that this kind of love, the love that keeps showing up even when showing up is costly, is exactly the kind that heaven recognizes and responds to. This does not mean you are called to remain in situations that are genuinely harmful to you. Wisdom and love are not opposites, and protecting yourself is not the same as closing your heart. But the openness you have maintained, the willingness to keep believing in goodness even after disappointment, that is not a liability. It is one of the most significant things about you. And Archangel Michael sees it. He sees the version of you that existed before the disappointments, the version that loved freely and hoped without reservation, and he sees that version still alive inside you. Quieter now, more careful, but still there, still real, still worth honoring. What is being released into your life in this season is, in part, a confirmation of that original goodness. A confirmation that it was not wasted, that it was, in fact, the very thing that kept the door open to what heaven has been preparing. And if this message has resonated with you and you want to support its reach so it can find other souls who need to hear it, click Valeu Demais. That small gesture helps this mission continue. Let me speak now about what Archangel Michael actually sees when he looks at the road ahead of you, because this is the part of the message that I believe will land most deeply. He does not see a continuation of what the last difficult season felt like. He does not see more of the same struggle, more of the same silence, more of the same sense of effort without visible return. What he sees is a transition, a genuine shift in the quality and direction of what you are moving into. This transition will not feel like fireworks from the beginning. It will feel, at first, like things becoming slightly lighter, like situations that used to require enormous effort beginning to carry a different quality, like people entering your path who feel different from the ones you have been accustomed to. Different in the specific way that genuinely aligned people feel different from those who were not meant to stay. It will feel like a clarity that you have not had in a while beginning to return, like being able to see a step ahead again, when for a long season you could barely see the ground under your feet. Like something in you that was braced for the next difficulty beginning, slowly, to relax into something closer to trust. This is not the end of all challenge. No honest spiritual message promises that. But it is the beginning of a season in which the challenges you face will carry with them the resources needed to meet them, in which you will not be navigating from a place of depletion, but from a place that is being replenished, in which the isolation that made so much of the last season feel so heavy will begin to give way to genuine connection. Archangel, Michael sees the people who are being positioned to enter your life in this new chapter. He sees the conversations that are coming, the doors that are about to move, the confirmations that are preparing to arrive through channels you may not be expecting. He wants you to be watching for them without being anxious about them, to receive them with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are loved and led, not with the desperate grasping of someone who fears they might miss the window. The window is not closing, it is opening. And it is opening specifically in your direction. Right, as your final declaration in the comments, Archangel Michael, where your light dwells. No shadow can remain. I receive with open hands everything heaven has prepared for this season of my life. Let me close with the heart of what Archangel Michael wants to leave with you today. You have been shown up for consistently in a season that gave you very little visible evidence that your showing up was making any difference. You have carried questions that you did not always have the courage to voice out loud. You have maintained a hope that you sometimes had to fight to hold onto. You have kept your heart available for love and connection, even when love and connection had proven costly. None of that has been lost. None of it has evaporated into nothing. Every bit of it has been building toward a season that is now beginning to materialize in the visible world. Your spirit has been sensing this. That is the restlessness you have been feeling. Not something wrong with you, but your spirit accurately registering what heaven has already set in motion. Trust that registration. Trust the quiet inner, knowing that something is genuinely shifting. Trust that the faithfulness you have practiced in the unseen has laid a foundation for what is being built now in the seen. Archangel Michael is positioned over your life in this season. He is guarding the threshold of what is being released. He is present in the details you cannot see, the conversations happening in rooms you have not entered yet, the circumstances being arranged without your knowledge or effort, the people being guided toward an intersection with your path. Heaven has not forgotten you. The silence was not abandonment. The delay was preparation. And the season of visible fruit from seeds planted in faith is now beginning. If you are not yet part of our community, subscribe to the Breath of Angels now. This space was built for you, for the questions you carry, the victories you are stepping into, and the revelations that heaven continues to send to those who remain open to receive. In the comments, share what moved in you today, what became clearer, what you are choosing to carry forward from this message into the week ahead. Your words may be exactly what another soul needs to find when they arrive here in their own season of restlessness and waiting. You were never invisible to heaven. You are not invisible now. And what heaven has prepared for you is closer than your next breath. Amen.